Hi, welcome to Galt's Vaults. I'm your haircut overdue museum collections technician, Kevin McLean, here at the Galt Museum and Archives in Lethbridge, Alberta. It's hard for a lot of us to let our personal things go. And it's not because things are irreplaceable in a physical sense. A plate is a plate is a plate, but because things attach themselves to us and we attach ourselves to them. They represent major milestones, they represent special places, they represent special people. And we know that because I think that's why a lot of donors want to give us their things. They know that the meanings behind their objects will live on here. And we get that. That's what we do. Museums perpetuate memory. And we know that donors are often quite desperate when they call us. They'll say things like, if you don't take it, I'm going to throw it in the garbage because my kids don't want it. So how did it come to that? No one wanting their stuff. If you want other people to value your stuff, you have to put it at risk. You have to pull it out of those basement stairwell closets. You have to take it out of the boxes. You have to tell people about it often, and you have to tell them what it means to you. You have to, if you can, put it into use so that the people visiting you in your home, when we can in the future, can associate it with you, and they can associate themselves with it too. And if you're lucky, they're going to ask for it before you're ready to even give it up. So now, to take you out, we're going to have Galt donor Sharon Roundtree share with you her story of her grandparents' fine Sunday china. So for the Galt's Vaults, thank you for tuning in. I'm Kevin McLean. Be well, Lethbridge.
My name is Sharon, and I'm 4.5 years old. I'm going on 5. My mommy and my daddy and my brother Reed and I are going to my Grand's and Poppy's house for dinner. We do this every Sunday because Poppy has to work all the other days. He's an engineer with the CPR. Mommy and Daddy and I walk, but Reed has to ride in the pram because he's only a year old and he doesn't know how to walk. And sometimes I get to push the pram, but Reed doesn't really like that because I like to jump over the cracks in the sidewalk. And this makes the pram jiggle and then Reed falls over. And that's kind of funny, I like that. I love to go to Gran's and Poppy's house for dinner because Gran always lets me set the table with her good dishes. She says that the dishes are very special because they're hand-painted and each dish is different from the others. And Gran says that when I get old and I get married, I can have her dishes. Gran likes to tell me about how she got her dishes. She says that my Poppy came to Canada from Scotland and got a job with the railway. And then he built a house, and after he built a home for him and my Gran to live in, she came to Canada on a big boat. My Poppy met her when she got off the boat and they got married in Montreal. And this was many, many years ago in 1909. When Gran got settled in her new home in Lethbridge, she wrote a letter to the Limoges China factory in France and ordered a set of dishes, enough for 12 people. And these are the dishes that we get to eat off of every Sunday. When I set the table, I have to be very careful that I don't break any dishes. The little teacups and saucers are my favorites, but Gran says she doesn't know why we use them because only she and my mommy and I drink tea out of them. My Poppy, my daddy, they call my daddy Davy. My Uncle Tommy and Uncle Billy always drink Scotch whiskey out of the cups and they pretend that it's tea. They think this is really funny and they laugh a lot. Today, Gran is really mad at Poppy because he wasn't careful with her dishes. He filled 6 of her soup bowls with dirt and planted seeds in them to grow plants for his garden. Gran said, "Walter, you are a mosey old poutworm. We'll never be able to use those bowls again." And Poppy said, "Oh, Christina lass, quit your crackling. The bowls will clean up just fine." Gran's face always gets red when Poppy says crackling. She says it's not a nice word and it means croaking like a crow. When it's time to eat, it's my job to put a bun on each person's little plate while Gran puts soup in the soup bowls. We always have the same thing for Sunday dinner. This is good because I don't like strange food. We have roast beef and gravy And tatties and neeps, that's my grand's way of saying potatoes and turnips. And carrots and beet pickles and corn relish. Poppy grows all the vegetables in his garden, and Gran makes pickles and relish every fall, enough to last all winter. Dessert time is my favorite, but we have to wait for a while to let our supper go down. Gran always makes a huge chocolate layer cake. I counted, and there's 4 cake layers and lots of chocolate icing in between. She makes apple pies too. Gran says that her men don't think they've had dinner unless they've had a big slice of pie with cheddar cheese. In fact, Poppy brings a round of cheese home every Saturday. It's as big around as one of the dinner plates. Most of the desserts get eaten, but whatever is left, Gran will put into lunch buckets for Poppy and Uncle Tommy and Uncle Billy to take to work tomorrow. I don't help with washing the dishes. That's my mummy's job with Gran. They like to chat while they clean up. The men sit in the parlor and drink their whiskey and smoke cigars. I like to sit on Poppy's lap and listen to the men talk. Most times I fall asleep, and then I have to ride home in the pram with Reed. As my daddy pushes the pram home, I sometimes dream that I'm a grown-up lady and that my family is at my home for Sunday dinner and we're eating off of Gran's special dishes.